walk it off. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs postgame show podcast presented by DraftKings. Download the app, use the promo code CHGO when you sign up. How about a walk-off winner at Wrigley Field under the new lights? Cody's vibing. He's got the beer bat ready to go. Cubs now 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4 against the American League West. An extra inning win. A walk-off win at Wrigley Field.
Beautiful.
Nick Madrigal stealing third.
All I could do whenever it happened.
Nico Horner drives him in.
All I could do when Nick Madrigal stole third was tweet from the CHGO Cubs account, Madrigal lol, because it was such a I have no idea what's going on, but yeah, that was something. Worked out in the Cubs' favor that time, but
Barb, we are live. We are live, Barb, on YouTube. Unless you're checking it out on the podcast form later in the week. No, it was a fun game.
Yeah.
It was a really good
Nico
baseball
Horner.
game for the most part. There were some missed opportunities, but there was a lot. There is a lot to talk about here. I mean, yes, the finish was good. There were a lot of guys that were maybe quiet heroes in this.
Mm-hmm.
Keegan Thompson. Without him, a lot of guys in the bullpen did a really nice job. Fulmer gave up the home run. That was disappointing, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, let's talk Drew Smyly.
Well,
without Drew Smyly, you want to do the beer bat first?
Let's do the beer bat first.
All right, let's get it out of the way. There have been a lot of people in the chat begging for the chug. Hold on, I got to get the timer ready. This is Cody does the Goose Island beer bat chug now.
This beer bat.
Hold on, I got to get to my app with the stopwatch.
This beer bat pour is brought to you by Goose Island, the best beer company Chicago has to offer.
And go, Cody, go.
Okay.
And we will time it from the first sip to the last drop.
Oh, yeah, there it goes. All right.
Yeah, those are clean shoes. Thank you. Oh, you're talking about Cody's maybe.
I got the University Blue ones.
We are going to talk about Keegan in the chat, yes.
We will talk about Keegan.
Saying Cody.
God, the pour is – I had a much better pour last time.
Yeah, there's more head to this pour than the last one.
Much better pour last time.
Minute 45 whatever. Last time for Cody's beer bat, and you don't have to chug it. Savor
this
it.
This is gonna
walk-off wins at Wrigley?
We're going to try, guys. All right, but the biggest problem is that when I tip it, it all just comes at my face.
The foam.
Not necessarily my mouth.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is for Nico Horner, the Chicago Cubs, and vibes.
Hashtag vibe with us. And the clock is on. It was a great game. Cody's really, he's going to have indigestion after this one. Super chat from Manuel, $5. Great lights, great pitching, an awesome walk-off.
Oh,
not quite done. And don't kill yourself, Cody. Need someone to hype with me about the Cubbies.
Shout out to Manuel.
Hashtag vibe with us, Maneki. That's right. That's
baby.
right.
That's what we do. Vibes. If you were at beautiful historic Wrigley Field tonight, I know extra innings led. I know extra innings led to the game being longer
and heartburn. Some, a little heartburn.
For some, yeah. But at one point in this game, it was on pace for like an hour and 50 minutes.
They were flying. I knew we were going to jinx that.
And then, we were blessed with some dramatic. But
yeah, at least they won.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Almost. Jennifer just said, what did Jennifer just say? Mm-hmm. Jennifer said something about, go up just a little bit in the chat. She said something nice about us. I always like that. Second best thing about a Cubs win is a CHGO post game. Love you guys. Done. Oh,
it's
sorry.
Literally
113.
We're getting better. But this is like all
seconds
foam,
off that.
So I'm going to have to drink the rest of this as we go.
Yeah, so technically it's not gone. But nice job, Cody. How about a honk?
This is my favorite part of the evening is doing
the beer bat.
Yeah, one, because then the chat is usually nice, and two,
just be careful on the scooter.
It's one beer. I'll be all right.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I'll be fine. This is not drinking and driving.
No,
right?
No. If we were doing, tequila in there, you'd have some trouble in your hands.
Oh man.
No, Drew Smyly.
He was great.
We talked about it in pregame. We said, listen, I kind of jokingly threw it out there who's taking Smyly and who you got because he'd had a bad Cactus League, and then he wasn't good in the first game. But he was good in the second half of last season, and that's why they brought him back. And we said tonight he's either going to be very good or the struggles are going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
He was good. He was good. You can't ask too much
7
more than that.
7 strikeouts, 5 innings.
Now, the debate was whether or not he should have come out.
Yeah.
And knowing what we know now, that, it's about to be the third time through and that there were
three righties
coming up, it was the right move.
Yeah, and it was the top of the order, too.
Yeah, it was the right move. But he had just struck out the side the inning before. Yeah. That's why you were kind of like, oh.
But it was the Mariners' bottom of the order, obviously.
That's right.
So based off what we've seen from Drew Smyly coming into this start, I thought it was okay to take him out there because his confidence has to be back at the very least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Cody's going to be burping the rest of the podcast.
Excuse me. Oh, man.
I think we figured out the first flaw in Cody's beer bat chugging idea for a win.
The downside of him coming out in the fifth is that, they had to use their bullpen guys earlier.
Yeah.
And so when Fulmer gives up the homer to go to extra innings, I'm like, man, well, they already used ALLCITY, they used Leiter, they used Boxberger, and now you're not going to bring Fulmer back out for the 10th.
Yeah.
Thank God that the mayor comes in. They got a guy on second to start the inning, a rule that I hate but love when it benefits the Cubs like it did tonight. That was the only downside of Smyly coming out one inning early, is that you had used the bullpen earlier. Would have had more options perhaps if he could have gave you 6, and we never got to really see. But it was a 2-1 game. You can't make any mistakes in that setting. So if they did bring Smyly back out and he gives up a homer or gives up a couple hits to start an inning, then you're putting your bullpen in.
Second guess it.
Yeah, you're
how did he not know?
Right. So I like that they took him out overall, and I'm happy for Drew Smyly because he's just been getting a lot of what you said in the Slack channel isn't anything. I've seen my mentions been full of people.
No, mine was completely a joke.
Right. Well, people in my mentions have been like, "Oh yeah, Smyly's going to get killed tonight by this Mariners offense, blah 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 blah." And it's like, did you not watch this guy last year? Did you just become a Cubs fan this year, or did you skip last year? I don't know what Drew Smyly you've been watching. I know he wasn't good in his first start, but I would give him the benefit of the doubt. A veteran pitcher who's won a World Series. I mean, I don't know.
First of all,
it rubbed me the wrong way from all the slander. All right.
It was one start.
Exactly. It was one start.
If he did that for a month, it might not mean anything. No, seriously, it might not mean anything if he did it for 4 starts.
Yeah.
It could just be 4 bad starts to start the season.
Right.
Some guys don't start well.
Right.
Everybody relax.
Right.
Right now, the pitching has been pretty good.
The starting pitching continues to be, solid. He was, he wasn't Stroh or Steele level tonight, but, well, I guess you can argue he was in terms of the strikeouts. He's not a strikeout guy. Goes out there, strikes out 7, strikes out the side in the 5th. You're like, all right, Drew, I wasn't expecting this, but thanks. You give us this every 5th day. If you get anything close to what we got tonight from Drew Smyly, if you get anything close to that from your number
5 innings,
starter,
1 run?
From your number 4?
Yes.
If you get that on a consistent basis?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Then I really don't know what the Cubs are going to do with Kyle Hendricks when he's healthy, because obviously we want to see Wesneski, and unless he struggles the next couple starts, maybe, but I don't think any of you want to see Wesneski get taken out of the rotation at this moment. And if Smyly keeps if he just does this or anything close to this, he's earned a spot in this rotation. So I wasn't even really surprised at what he did tonight. I was just happy to see him get back on track, because this is what he's done his entire career, just be a solid back into the rotation pitcher. That's literally all he's done throughout his career.
P. Will supporter saying, basically he was mad about Smyly, or we were mad about Smyly because he was handed a spot over Assad and Killian. Well,
Killian.
Assad was just sent to the minors today.
Right. He hadn't been very good.
And he'd been really, he'd been doing really well in that bullpen role. And then he said, Keegan Thompson. I think Keegan Thompson, while Keegan Thompson could start, role. he has been much better in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And I think he's sort of embraced the role. And frankly, I'm not sure the way baseball is played today,
all you got to do is
if
look
Keegan
at the
Thompson isn't more valuable in that role to this Cubs team than he would be in the 4 or 5 role.
Yeah. Well, the splits.
I just think honestly, if it's the same guy, and even if he had the same results, even if he was just as good or not quite as good as a starter, if you can have a guy come in and be that 2 or 3 inning guy and really be, shove on a regular basis, get you out of high leverage situations and then take it for another 2 innings.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think that's more important than a starter late in the rotation.
Yeah.
And Killian just hasn't had enough success with the new stride. And
Assad is the
he'll
only
get a shot.
Assad is the only one where I'm like, okay, like maybe he deserved the shot because he did have success at the end of last year out of the rotation.
But Smyly was great last year and is way more proven than Assad.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong. All I'm saying is out of the 3 that you said, he is the only one that I'm like, okay, if they wanted to go that route, I would have got up for it and I would have supported it. But at the same time, we've seen Assad struggle out of the bullpen already, and I don't believe in the whole, he's in the bullpen so he's not going to be good. Like that's no. That Drew Smyly has proven to be a very reliable arm throughout his career. So yeah, you want that experience in there in games like these. Honestly, this game was really important for the Cubs to win, to be honest, because they lost yesterday. And if you want a chance to win this series, winning this game takes a lot of pressure off with Wesneski tomorrow and Stroh on Wednesday.
Yeah.
If they had lost tonight, that puts more pressure on Wesneski to bounce back tomorrow. And then if that doesn't go well, then you're trying to salvage the series with your number 1, which is possible with Stroh the way he's been pitching. But again, this win takes so much pressure off them going into tomorrow and even Wednesday, because if they drop tomorrow, at least they got Stroman, who's pitched really well, going on Wednesday. So to me, this was a tone setter for the series.
Agreed.
Being able to win this series. If they win this series on top of the one with the Rangers, you're going to Los Angeles winning 4 out of 6 against the AL West. Yes. If that's what this game means. And Drew Smyly went out there again. It's not the playoffs or whatever, but a big game. These types of games against these good teams, not only are they tests for this team to, I guess, measure how good they are or not, but also at the same time, in terms of just being a good team, winning these types of games can propel you to levels that, we don't even know.
It's experiences a lot of these guys haven't had. That's Nico Hoerner's first ever walk-off hit.
Right. So
that's his first ever walk-off hit.
Right. It's insane. So what Drew Smyly was able to go out there and do tonight in a game that, from the outside really doesn't look like it's a huge game or not, but in a way, in terms of winning the series, it was a huge game. You know what I mean? So that's
just for this month. Just for this month, Cody. Like you look at the schedule for the first month of the season, they've got a tough schedule.
Yeah,
you've got the Padres, you got the Dodgers twice, you've got Rangers, Mariners.
Yeah, I
mean it's not an easy schedule to start the season, and we talked about getting off to a good start, and we said, but it won't be easy. That's why I think if they can go 500 the first month of the season, it will be a more than successful first month of the season.
Considering who they
You'd
have
like
to play.
be better than that, but if you can go 500 the first month of the season, you haven't lost anything, and you just played a really tough part of your schedule.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about the pitching situation. We'll talk more about Velasquez being brought up, and Assad being sent down. And, I saw Gary already mention it in the chat. Yeah, they're going to stretch him out to be a starter again. So we'll see how it all unfolds.
And we talked about in pregame that Assad might not even be down there that long because, he just couldn't pitch the next couple days. Then they have an off day.
Right now, he couldn't have pitched
very
anyway.
well. He could have.
He could be back sooner than later.
He could be back Friday.
Even if it takes a little while to stretch him out. Listen, Kyle Hendricks is going to be coming back too.
Yeah.
Before too long. So we'll see how it all fits out. But those are good problems to have right now. Smyly striking out in the side in the 5th ends up with 7 strikeouts. Why? Guy was throwing strikes.
Yeah.
Pounding the zone. He's not overpowering, but he was just around the plate. 1 walk, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts. That's That's a nice outing from Drew Smyly.
All Smileys.
And for a long time, he was the front runner for who you got, which we'll get to later in the show. The bullpen was also excellent. Yes, the bullpen gave up the run. I know, Fulmer. But prior to that, after your starter goes 5 innings, ALLCITY, Leiter, Boxberger, Thompson, those guys were all great.
Yeah.
They were all great.
They were all great. I mean, Boxberger got into some trouble in the 8th.
Oh, yeah, they weren't.
But Dansby Swanson on the defense. I mean, I posted a video this morning about how I was annoyed after yesterday's loss because the defense was so bad Sunday. They got back on the right track today. Dansby Swanson and Nico Horner were incredible defensively. Right. And in the 8th inning, when the Mariners had a guy on second, was a leadoff double, I want to say is what happened. Ground ball up the middle to Swanson. The guy at second tries to take third. He throws him out at third.
Yeah,
you
really
see a
nice
lot of plays like that on a regular basis, but just the mindset to just do it.
Yeah.
He made a great throw, right? Like it's little things like that on how that leads to wins, and that is why Dansby Swanson is one of the best defensive players at shortstop in the league. Like it was when that play happened, you felt better about the inning and getting out of it, and that's what happened. The Cubs somehow got out of that inning without giving up a run. So, the defense was huge tonight in certain situations. There were a few situations the Cubs had where they could have got an insurance run, didn't work out. Yan Gomes robbed on a hit whenever they were rallying earlier in the game on a line drive right up the middle that was caught, and then they were able to step on second base to tag to get someone out because they didn't go back to second base. I believe that is what happened off the top of my head. So
I'm still laughing at Fernando's super chat who says, I'm late. I was at the game. Is this live? We might have to get a shirt that says, is this live?
Is this live? Again, I'm kind of just rambling now, but like the defense was big.
There was another nice defensive play.
Yeah.
Yan Gomes had an awesome game tonight. Like tossing a guy out, huge couple key
not with
blocks.
the bat, but defensively.
No, and
he was great.
I've seen in the chat some people are saying like Gomes has to go. No. He's not. He's not here for his bat.
No, he's not.
Whatever you get out of his bat is going to be a bonus. And the same is Barnhart.
Yep.
They're here to guide the pitching staff, frame pitches, throw guys out,
and he did that tonight.
And they don't. They're not expecting him to be Wilson Contreras at the plate.
Exactly.
They're not looking for that. It's just it's a difference in what the organization is looking for out of the catcher position for the price and for the production.
They look at him as someone like Martin Maldonado for the Astros. That's how they look at him. Him and Barnhart both. Is he as good as Maldonado in terms of defense? I don't know, but that's like my example for anyone who doesn't know or understand.
Well, and it's not just the pitch framing or the throwing guys out. It's mostly pitch calling. Mm-hmm. Like it's telling the young guys in the rotation, this is where we need to go. You're guiding young pitchers that are coming into the majors. They feel better about it. Listen, you can debate right or wrong. We'll do plenty of that when Wilson makes his first appearance for the Cardinals. I thought Yan Gomes defensively was pretty good tonight.
Yeah, to be able to throw out that guy in the 9th inning after they got the home run, and then I think it was Colton Wong who got a base hit afterwards. He threw him out to end the inning. I mean, that was a huge momentum shift, to be honest with you.
And Gomes does lead Wilson in home runs so far this season.
1-0, yes. He was really close to 2.
Actually, right now, Madrigal and Contreras have the same amount of home runs this season. Facts. Yeah. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Get in the way of a good story.
That is
folks.
Facts.
That is facts.
Yeah, so Fulmer was a little disappointing to give up the home run. That was an absolute blast and a gut punch, but I like the way the Cubs were able to respond to it.
Yeah.
Rally, was it a perfect finish? No. Mm-hmm. Did Madrigal mean to steal third? I don't know.
I don't know either, bro.
Did Horner absolutely crush the base hit? No. But you know what? That's why baseball's baseball. That's the way.
Mastroboni hit nothing but rockets all night and only got 1 hit. So, I mean, what do you want?
Like, and he did dive in right field tonight.
He did dive in right field.
And then Velasquez playing at the end of the game, which I thought was the right move.
Yeah.
the right.
Oh
move.
yeah. Well, when they brought Velasquez in, he ended up making the final out of that inning on a like a little looping fly ball out there. I feel it was so similar to so many that we've seen go out there that have landed. So good on Velasquez for making the play there. So again, it's little things like that on how the Cubs are going to win games this year because they aren't going to score a lot of runs. On a consistent basis at least. You're going to have days where they score 10 like they did on Saturday. But more often than not, we're going to see a lot of games like tonight, in my opinion, all season. So
close games, hopefully beating some good teams. You let one of the 5 best players in baseball not beat you. Keegan Thompson walked him, but he battled him for a while and then didn't give in to him by just throwing it as hard as he could down the middle.
Right.
I'm okay with that walk.
I was okay with it
because
well.
the next guy up was a double play opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you only really care about that runner at third base when you get to extra innings, right?
Right, yeah.
And so, if they would have given up a bases clearing double, whatever, that would have sucked, and we would be sitting here a lot more sad. But we wouldn't be talking about, them walking Julio Rodriguez is the reason they lost the game.
No.
So that walk was okay with me. See, that's the thing about the runner on second base in extra innings. Like, in a way, I like it because it just it gives you automatic anxiety. But so it makes it interesting. But at the same time, it's like, man, like you're starting the inning off, and it's like, there's a runner on second already in scoring position. Like this, anything can happen here that can change the entire course of the game. And for the Cubs to be able to get out of an inning like that was huge because most innings in extras now, if you only give up 1 run, it's considered a win. But they didn't allow a run at all, and then they finally capitalized with the runner on second in the bottom half. Something that I feel like failed so many times last season.
All season last year.
Like, Madrigal steals third.
Not enough good players.
Right.
Madrigal
steals third, and then Barnhart strikes out, and I immediately think in my head, I'm like, oh man, here we go again. Like I saw this way too many times last year. But thankfully they had in that situation, there's no one I would want more up at the plate. Nico Horner.
No, you said that the second he came up. I said maybe Dansby Swanson, but it's Nico or Dansby, one of the two.
Or they put the ball in play.
Ian Happ. You know what's funny? I just saw the comment from Gary. I think it was Gary in the chat saying, so what happens when Seiya comes back, which is going to happen, best case scenario, West Coast trip. We'll talk more about that in a second, but we'll talk about it in the next segment because it is an interesting it's an interesting topic, I think. Where are you going to put him? What are you going to do with him? Obviously, you're going to put him in right field, but nice win for the Cubs. And like I said, when you start 3 out of 4 homestand against the Mariners and Rangers, absolutely you will take that. We're waiting to hear from Ryan Herrera, who is at beautiful, historic Wrigley Field tonight, up in the press box.
Beautiful
looking over those.
And historic.
And historic, yeah.
And historic.
Checking out those new lights. We'll talk about those a little bit. Make sure, by the way, you've signed up to be a Die Hard this season. I'm going to get the box over here.
Don't drop it.
Don't drop it. This is what you get when you sign up to be a Die Hard at ALLCHGO.com. You get this nice box with the Die Hard logo on it. You get the stickers. The stickers come with, right? You get your free shirt of choice from the CHGO locker. You might want to go with this one, or you might want to go with one of the new ones if you're a Cubs fan. Beautiful and historic.
Beautiful and historic.
Or the CHGO Bricks and Ivy.
Yeah.
Or you might want the Hey Chicago, What Do You Say? Or you might want the Brawler Cub. Either way, no matter what you want, free shirt at allchgo.com.
Or any other shirt at allchgo.com.
And then you get the great, you also get the great discounts and all the things that come along with discounts on merch all the time, discounts to our events that happen. And did I lose the card? Oh, my gosh. The Die Hard member card.
Yeah.
I mean,
which, again, we said this in pregame, the Die Hard member card, you can show up to a bar and that's all you have to show them.
You can cut the line at Sluggers with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is factual or not, but don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. You can go to the airport and you could travel with a real ID. A driver's license is not as good, or a passport, or you could just throw out your CHGO Die Hard.
Absolutely.
3 forms of
And usually
identification.
security will just be like, right this way, sir, the first class.
I got you, Luke.
Sorry, thank you.
Again, don't let
you.
the facts get in the way of
Don't
it.
let the facts get in the way. Plus Discord, Gary says. That's right.
Plus the
Hang with
Discord.
Gary in the Discord.
You can be friends with Gary in the Discord. He's very active in there, and I regret that I'm not in it as much as I would want to.
We're all going to get in the Discord more.
Cardinals lose.
Cardinals lose.
Contreras,
Willie 0 for 4, 2
Ks.
Wow, his OPS is lower than Madrigal.
Gary
hate
said
to see
earlier
it.
that
I
Wilson
don't
almost got
hate
thrown
Wilson
out.
at all, actually, to be honest with you.
I don't either, but
just the decision
after
the
all his
organization
trolling,
made. I don't know what
I'm
to do
going
about it.
After all his trolling, though, I'm going to take my shots, too.
I can't say it's the right or wrong decision yet. We're going to see how it plays out.
Gary said earlier that he almost got thrown out of the game tonight for arguing
Wilson?
framing. Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what Gary was saying. So might have to go back on Twitter and look at that. But yeah, tough start to the year
Got
for
into it with
Willie.
an ump, huh?
3-7. Oof. Anyway,
Nearin. $12 tickets. No concessions and free parking tonight.
there you
How about
go.
that? Win, win,
There you
win.
go.
Yeah, so first of all, you notice the new lights. I couldn't believe when they said there's like 200 less bulbs than the old lights that went up because they went to ComEd, energy efficient LEDs. And having talked to a lot of people that have played that outfield since lights have gone up, which is a long time now, but you can walk into that ballpark. It was always a noticeable difference from any other ballpark in Major League Baseball because the city didn't allow lights to go up in the outfield. So there's less towers. You're right. There's nothing in the outfield lighting it. And it was the worst lighting in baseball. Some players had said before that it almost wasn't safe the way it was before. We got used to watching it on TV. But Kevin even looked it up on YouTube. I said, no. It's crazy how much brighter it is in the outfield watching it on TV. I haven't seen it on person yet, but when you see the outfield and when you see the ivy used to just be this dark thing that was in the shadows on television.
The whole warning track. Yeah.
The whole warning track. The center fielder used to emerge from a dark shadow, and until they zoom the camera in on him, you would not hardly see the player like come out of the shadow. Now the whole thing is lit. 200 less lights.
Do you think it has something to do with the ComEd efficiency program?
I know it does. I know it does.
Well, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities they serve, helping manage energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future, Luke.
Well, that's why the Cubs did it. ComEd offering a wide variety of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, public sector customers of all sizes. ComEd also offers free facility assessments that can help find energy-saving opportunities, HVAC systems, commercial kitchen equipment, industrial processes.
Well, I mean, that's interesting. How does it work?
All right, so here's the deal. An authorized engineer will work with you to develop a detailed assessment plan specific to your goals and needs. They can be done in person or virtually, last about 2 hours. Then within 3-4 weeks, customers receive a report that details energy efficiency projects they can start working on right away. Each recommendation will include estimated energy savings, cost savings, project cost, potential incentives, and simple payback. If you own a business, you just don't want to wait. Get started saving money and energy today, just like the Cubs did. For energy-saving tips, lighting incentives, or to schedule your free facility assessment, go to ComEd.com/poweringbiz.
Did you say ComEd.com/poweringbiz, Luke?
That is correct. You heard me correctly, Cody. It's exactly what I said. Schedule it today. Get going on it. Let me tell you, the lights are so bright at Wrigley Field now, you got to take your Shady Rays for the dusk era when the lights are coming, the sunset is coming through the grandstand a little bit. You got to have them if you're in the right field corner. You got to have that. Your Shady Rays.
The best part of night games at beautiful historic Wrigley Field.
Yeah,
obviously.
it's that glow that comes through the grandstand there. But you also have to have it for day games in the outfield bleachers anywhere. And now you got to have it at night because it's so beautiful and bright inside Wrigley Field. Shady Rays never understood, though, why sunglasses were so expensive, so they set out to change it. You don't have to break the bank for quality sunglasses because our friends at Shady Rays have you covered. Shady Rays are premium, polarized shades featuring world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles cater to everyone and every lifestyle. The best part? They have the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. It is lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your shades, day one, they sold, hey, we'll just give you a new pair. That's it. No questions asked. drop them in a lake, off a cliff, celebrating a home run. They'll replace them. Even with that strong of a protection program, they still manage to make quality that I can tell you holding in my hand seems as good as any expensive pair I have ever worn. Shady Rays customers agree with 200,000 plus 5-star reviews, and Shady Rays also provides, and this is incredible, 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order placed. They've donated over 20 million meals to date. Hats off to them. And they stand behind their product too. Told our team that if anybody has a problem, they throw profit out the window and do what it takes to get it right. Free returns, free exchanges. You either love the shades or Shady Rays will pay to ship them back. That's it. Exclusive for our listeners. Pay attention. Shady Rays running their deepest deal of the season. The code CHGO. 50% off. 2 or more pairs right now at ShadyRays.com. Buy one, get one free. That's BOGO. 2 pairs as low as $54. Redeem only at ShadyRays.com, where you can find all their newest and best shades. They've got everything.
They do.
You want to have Tom Cruise-looking sunglasses? You get Tom Cruise sunglasses. You want those blade-like kind that you have, Cody? You got those. You want something in between? They've got those. You want reflector ones? They've got those. You want black lenses? They've got those. You want a green lens? They've got those.
Though they would look really great with the cowboy hat that Nico Horner is wearing right now post-game. Ryan Herrera just tweeted a video. Apparently, he tweeted that the Cubs have a celebratory walk-off hat now, and it's just like a cowboy hat. So Nico Horner, he just tweeted a video of Nico Horner
wearing this hat?
wearing a cowboy hat, talking to the media.
Every
So
team's got something now. I can't wait to see this photo.
they need like a home run thing. You know what I mean? The Cubs, they don't have anything like that.
I mean,
Like every team does it now, though.
I don't want to unfun it.
That's fair.
Yeah, this is funny. The cowboy hat's funny. That's the walk-off hat.
Yeah, that's the walk-off hat.
I wonder if it was just somebody's hat, and they're like, "This is the new walk-off hat."
Perhaps.
Maybe it was Nico's hat. Maybe he showed up in it.
I don't think Nico is a cowboy hat type of guy. Now, if that was Justin Steele's hat, I'd believe it.
Freeze that shot. Hashtag it. Vibe with us. Tweet it out.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Huh?
All right.
There's the shot right there. Vibe with us. Look at how happy his first ever walk-off hit. By the way you want to enjoy our podcast, if you can, is on YouTube live. It's fun. We get to hang out with everybody in the chat. Still great on podcast form. We appreciate everybody there. But if you can sign up for the CHGO Sports YouTube page, we appreciate it. Make sure you give likes, good reviews. Also, if you're on Spotify, make sure you give us the old 5-star thumbs up there, too. We appreciate that as well. That was exciting. Walk-off winner for the Cubs. They beat the Mariners. The day was already exciting because one of us here ran into Justin Steele, almost literally, on the street. It wasn't me. Cody, tell us what happened.
So I was en route to the gym. I go to a gym in Lakeview East, and
Don't give away too many location details.
I was just saying that it was in Lakeview East.
For security purposes.
I was going down Broadway on my bike, and I'm blaring Morgan Wallen's new album with my JBL speaker on my side pocket of my backpack, and I'm just riding my bike, going about 15 to 20 miles per hour down Broadway. Next thing I know, I see a guy with sunglasses and wearing a Dom Frederick morale hat and looking a little bit taller than most normal people with 2 females on the sidewalk, and I see a facial expression, and I'm like, is that Justin Steele? And so I yell, "Hey, Steele!" And he's like, I can't say it in a Southern accent, but he
don't even try.
He's like, "Hey," and I'm like, of course I was at the speed I was going, I couldn't just stop, but I kind of slammed the brakes and turned around and just. I have never met him in person. I wasn't lucky like you and Ryan were, who got to meet him at CubsCon.
Well, you've done Twitter exchanges with him.
Yeah, Twitter exchanges, and before this job, I had him on a podcast I used to do.
Right.
So I went back and just first thing I said was hey, do you recognize me? And I was like, oh yeah, I've seen you.
Oh yeah, from the FBI photos.
He's like, I've seen you at CHGO. He legitimately said, yeah, I've seen you
right.
from CHGO, and then asked me why he asked me why.
Where were you at Cubby Convention, right?
He was asking me where I was at CubsCon, and I was like, yeah, I couldn't.
I was a man of the people.
I was the man of the people that day. That's basically what I told him. And Yeah, no, we talked for a couple minutes. It was the first time I've seen like an athlete on the street.
Oh, the first thing that I'm thinking now is somehow we got to get him when the CHGO hat's coming. I'm told they're coming fairly soon.
Ooh.
We got to get him. We got to get him a CHGO hat.
That's what I'm saying. But he also said he listens or watches the show sometimes. So
well, he's a charter member of #Shove with Us.
Yeah.
We started it with Max Bain, but Justin Steele's a shove with us.
Yeah. Well,
should be.
We're still a very pro Max Bain podcast still. But yeah, no,
of course.
It was
Max Bain's a friend of the show.
But yeah, no, it was a cool moment, whatever. It just caught me so off guard, and then like my gym is like 2.5 miles from my apartment, so I was like kind of out of breath already because like,
and he was like, "This guy's out of breath."
I was like, "This is like," as I rode away, I was like, "This was embarrassing." He probably thinks I'm weird as fuck now, but whatever. The only thing I regret is not asking like, "Hey, you should come in studio sometime like on an off day or something." So, but he does follow me on Twitter, so I guess I could just DM him.
Just DM him. There you go.
Yeah.
So Justin, if you're listening to this podcast, the reason Cody was out of breath was not because he's also a super fan, although he is a super fan.
I'm a big fan of Justin Steele.
You are like maybe number one Justin Steele fan. There's reason to be a big fan of Justin Steele, but you've been a fan of his for a long time.
I mean, I've been a supporter when, no one really knew if he was going to be anything or not. So it's been fun to watch his rise, because he came up out of the bullpen, and then they made him a starter after the sad 2021 trade deadline, and he had some ups and downs, and then last year was just kind of the first half wasn't that great, but really turned it on in June to the rest of the year, and he's off to a great start this year. So it's been fun to watch him grow, man. He's that's the fun thing about the young guys, you know what I mean? The guys who come up through the organization.
More likely to check out stuff like us. Fernando says he saw Jed on Saturday, didn't want to haze him, was with his family, not the right time. Oh, good choice, Fernando.
Good choice.
That was a great choice.
Very kind of you and classy as well, not to haze him because his family was there.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, anyways, it sounds like it's good to know. Steele knows who we are, what we do. He's a fan. And the next time, you'll be ready to go with can you come in studio?
Yeah.
Well, we've had him on the show. Ryan's had him twice now for us. So,
perhaps.
Anyways, good luck to him on the next start out. He's off to a great start this season. We've said we want him. There's a lot of guys that could emerge. We said going into the season, there wasn't a clear-cut ace.
Yeah.
Like you can say it was Stroman because he took the ball on opening day, but nobody had emerged as a major league ace. But Steele has pitched like one second half of last season and today. That's why he's on Dan Plezak's top 30 pitchers. So is Marcus Stroman. Those two guys at the top of the rotation have been spectacular in their first combined 4 starts. So like to see more of that this season. If that continues, Cubs are going to be a factor in the division.
Absolutely.
That's one thing you can say right there. Those two guys pitch like that all season, they'll be a factor in the division. So, yes, before the game, after Cody ran into Justin Steele, Nelson Velasquez was called up. Javier Assad was sent down where they're going to stretch him out back to starter. He had struggled, and I don't really have the answer to what it was. World Baseball Classic, Cactus League, up until that last appearance in the Cactus League, he was perfect. No earned runs, I don't think, in the Cactus League or up until when he came back from the World Baseball Classic, where he was spectacular. This season, 6 earned runs, 6 hits, and 4 1/3. Pitched 3 innings on Sunday. Now, I say the fact that, he wouldn't have pitched anyway this week. Now, he can't come back as early as, like, this weekend because I think it's 2 weeks or 15 days or whatever the number is, but it's like 2 weeks or 15 days. When you're sent down, you got to stay down for a little bit. But you can still go up and down multiple times, and it wouldn't take that long to stretch him out and then have him closer to being more of a bridge role like Keegan Thompson, to where it would be just as easy to stretch him then back into the full-time starter. But there's options. I personally think it's not that he's down there to get stretched out. I think it's a little time. This is just an opinion. I have no reason to say that the Cubs have said this, but I also feel like it's catch your breath. World Baseball Classic was emotional. Take a look at the video, see what's going on. You're not quite the same as what you were. We're not worried about you. Take your time. You'll be right back up.
I mean, when we were talking about him in the World Baseball Classic, we were talking about how
He's a weapon.
Yeah, well, and we were also talking about how he ticked his velo up. He was throwing up like mid to upper 90s, a couple miles per hour more than last season.
Yeah.
So the stuff is there, no doubt. So that's why I was surprised that he was the one today, because I felt like he would have a little bit of a longer leash. But yeah, I mean, obviously he wasn't very effective in his few appearances this year. So, you know, we'll see. Again, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he's back on Friday. But who knows?
Assad?
Yeah.
Oh, show me the chat. I thought it was 15 days, but that could be an old rule. I thought somebody just said something. Oh, Fernando says it's past 10 p.m. Stuck wasn't expecting a long night. That's true. That's true. Didn't somebody just say something about a new rule? Luke, you can only be optioned up to 5 times. That's why I say I'm not saying you can go up and down 10 times. Yeah, 5 times. But did somebody look up that rule change?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if it was a rule change. I think it's 15 days. I
always thought that was the rule.
I think when you're sent down, it's either 2 weeks or it's like a number like 50. It's not 25 days. I think it's 15 days.
Really?
Yeah, Gary, 15 days
Yeah,
unless injury.
Yeah,
that sounds
and
right.
GMs will try to fudge that with an injury sometimes if they want to get a guy back. But so there is a way to work around it. Anyways,
well, whatever.
The more interesting part of it to me was not that Assad was sent down. It's that Velasquez was called up, not pitcher for pitcher. It's that an outfielder was called up, and then you start wondering what's going on with Seiya. David Ross said best case scenario is he's not, even though he played back-to-back games. Now, today was about, okay, let's see how his body feels. And we'll see how his body feels tomorrow. Iowa was off today anyway, but he's not coming back until at least the West Coast trip.
Right.
But so far, things are going very well. It's been good. All good news. He had 1 hit. He was 1 for 4 yesterday, DHing for Iowa. The question is, where will you slot him in the lineup when he does come back? Now, I know a lot of people would say it's somewhere between 1 and 3.
No.
But I love the top 3 guys. I wouldn't fudge with that at all.
I think you can put him right where Cody Bellinger is.
I think you could bat him clean up and move everybody down.
Yeah, and Cody Bellinger's consistently been playing cleanup on days they're facing righties.
Yeah.
So he was batting cleanup today. Had an RBI double, by the way. Was told that that his hits and runs don't count whenever they're playing the Reds. Please let me know if they count when they play the Mariners. Anyway, yeah, I would put Seiya number 4 and then just move Bellinger down to 5. And it also helps because Happ has been hitting 3rd and he's a switch hitter. So if you put Seiya between him and Bellinger, then you have lefty, righty, you know what I mean? So yes. I think that helps the lineup. And it's just like
Joel Martinez in the chat agrees with you.
Thank you, Joel.
Gary says he'd like him 5th. Yeah, I'm good with either. I'm good with either place. 4th, 5th. I could see him in those somewhere in 1 to 3. If somebody's struggling, you're moving them around. But right now, with the way those 3 are playing, I wouldn't touch
anywhere between
1 through 3.
To me, anywhere between 4 and 6 would be fine. But I think that he has 30 home run potential. So you want to give him those opportunities with guys on base. And we've talked about his approach. There's no reason he shouldn't be in the middle of the lineup, in my opinion. So
yeah, Doug's saying bat number 2, just move everybody down. I do think that's a very good possibility at some point this season. I just don't know if they're going to bring him off the injured list starting the season with the oblique injury and insert him into number 2 with those 3 guys playing so well. That's just
not right now. Yeah.
No, I'm saying just not right now. It might be in 2 weeks.
Could be
2 weeks when he comes back. And
right now, you're leaving Dansby in the 2 hole. Sure.
I wouldn't touch 1 through 3 right now, but we'll see what David Ross decides to do, and then we'll evaluate him after that when we see if it's the right or wrong move. But it's only good that you can add Seiya Suzuki to this lineup. We've seen that the power still They're still scoring runs without home runs.
I'm just excited to have him back in right field, man.
Yeah.
Taking away some of those
Defensively,
dink
it might
and
be,
dunk bloopers. It's going to be.
And now that he can see the ball because of the outfield lights.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I mean,
Love the lights.
the lights.
That field
Let
really
there be
did
light.
look so different.
Brent says, I agree, Luke. Ease him in. Anytime somebody says agreed, Luke, I read that comment. Gee whit, agreed, Luke.
Yeah,
You don't even need to super chat it. If you say agreed, Luke, that's as good as a free super chat.
Yeah.
And then when he comes up, there's going to be all kinds. Hendricks will create a roster decision. Seiya's going to create a roster decision. We'll just see how those all unfold. Hoping to talk to Ryan Herrera, CHGO Sports, once he.
There was someone in the chat asking where Ryan is.
Ryan will be here. He's working the clubhouse. It's a walk-off win. They got guys in cowboy hats tonight. There's a lot going on down there. Let me tell you, one great thing is you can watch all these games. You don't have to have Comcast cable.
Really?
No, you don't. You know what you do? Cut the cord, go get yourself some Fubo. 140-plus live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news. Stream live TV from any device. I've got it right here on my phone. Watch the most Chicago sports for the lowest price. Start watching immediately with a 7-day free trial. No contract, no cable, no hassle. Just sign up, start watching. 1,000 hours of cloud DVR included. No extra charge. Watch your local teams while traveling. What's on this week? It's great for summertime. You go on vacation, you just take the Cubs baseball right with you with your Fubo TV app. Watch the Cubs on marquee with Fubo TV. Use the link in the description to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. Watch the game just the other day with it. Super clean stream.
Oh, yeah?
Not a blip, nothing. It's like just you put it on your iPad, you put it on your phone, take it with you.
I got a smart TV at home. I could just got to download the app and create an account.
Smart TV?
Might do it. So the hit parlay missed tonight because
the Triple H?
Yeah, Ian Happ didn't get a hit, and he was robbed of one because of the baseball gods. The baseball gods hate me. But I made that bet on DraftKings. It's NBA playoffs time. That means big hoops action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Get in on the excitement of every game with the touch of a button. New customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline bet and score $150 in bonus bets if their team wins. Plus, everyone can score a no-sweat same-game parlay every day during the NBA playoffs. So all you got to do is open the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, place a same-game parlay on any NBA game. If it doesn't hit, you'll get a bonus bet back up to $10. So if you place a 3-leg same-game parlay after you opt in on the promo and it doesn't hit, then you get a free bet back of $10, and you can use that on another bet the next day if you wanted to. It's honestly the best thing about DraftKings Sportsbook is they have these types of promos all the time where you don't have to really care if you win or lose because you're going to get your money back and get to use it on something else if it doesn't hit. So download the app now. Sign up with code CHGO. New customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline bet and score $150 in bonus bets if their team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
I saw 156 people in the chat. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Join the party.
We got
Join the party. This isn't like last year.
Right.
Cody's chugging beer bats after games now.
We had 155 but 59 likes. Can we
get
get to 100? Can we get to 100 by the end of the show? And shout out to no one thumbsing down either.
That's always nice. And
someone
thumbs
probably
up to
will now. But
Ryan Herrera.
There he is.
Who is live in
he's in a Hawaiian.
Oh, aloha, Mr. Herrera.
First one of the year. Had to bring it out because it was nice out today.
He goes to Sluggers last week.
Tomorrow,
and he feels
probably
like
too.
He has to wear Hawaiian. I like it. I like it.
This might be Hawaiian week at Wrigley.
Might be time to break them out.
First question is not really all that important, but it is on my mind. What'd you think of the lights?
Well, so like when they were first coming on with like pregame, and it was still sunny out, but it was like the lights were just flickering. It's like they were doing the light show pregame, and it was like it was hurting my eyes. Like it was. I should have had my Shady Rays. I didn't have them on.
I just said that. Got to have the Shady Rays for night games now.
Was, ComEd probably powered the lights, and they're very bright. So thanks, comment. But I should have my Shady Rays. But yeah, very cool. And I wasn't expecting that. I thought that was just like a flickering of the lights as they're coming on.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had like a light show planned
Yeah.
for a win, but I thought it was pretty cool.
They did it after the game too, right? A light show,
Yeah.
celebratory light show.
Yeah. And then apparently the lights at the end, they went off and only left like the lights doing a W. So that's pretty cool too. I just saw it on Twitter. I didn't see it myself, but.
And now, don't you wonder if a Cubs home run goes off in a night game, are they going to do the whole flickering lights off and on thing that teams are doing now? Interesting. Could be interesting.
They might. Yeah, we'll see.
Boy, Nico Horner sure looked like he enjoyed his first walk-off winner.
Yeah. No, he. First of all, like considering the guy's been in the big league since 19, like I was kind of surprised to realize that was his first walk-off. But yeah, I mean, everyone, we talked to Nick, talked to Rossi, obviously Nico, like everyone was obviously very excited for Nico. But I mean, first walk off of a career, like the guy's only 25, like he's still relatively young in terms of baseball. But like to see that happen, to see him come up in that moment, and like you had the feeling he was gonna put the ball in play. The guys were all playing in, like you would just hope that it was gonna get past the infielders. Obviously it did, and that's a big moment for him. And you walk in, he's wearing a cowboy hat that I guess Yan Gomes put on his head. So that's pretty funny. But it's just, he's again a young guy who, if you think about it, he's been around since 19, but his first like full healthy season was only last year. So he's still, in a sense, establishing himself at the big league level. So to see him come through right there, like that's. You wonder why the Cubs wanted to extend him and keep him around. Like this is why he's their leadoff hitter. He, in a clutch moment like that, you feel really good about the shot that he's going to come through, and he comes through. Like it's exactly why the Cubs want Nico around for a while. And yeah, he's only 25, and he's gonna that extension was only technically like 1 year. But you know what? Like this is why the Cubs wanted to give. This is why the Cubs paid him, because of moments like this. So it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, we haven't really talked a lot about, just Nico as the leadoff hitter. We talked about him,
spring training, saying he looks like the guy.
Yeah, and we've talked about how great the top three of him, Swanson and Happ have been, but we haven't really talked about Nico as the leadoff hitter, setting the tone. The amount of times we've watched Nico get a leadoff hit, steal second. Next thing you know, you got Dansby and Ian Happ coming up with a chance to score a run. And that's how the Cubs have scored a lot of runs to start the year, and it's been fun to watch.
It has. Yeah, it has. Sorry, go ahead, Luke.
No, go ahead, Ryan. I had a follow-up question on another part of the game, but yes, I would agree that he's been a great table setter, right? Like, they couldn't have asked much more for Nico to start this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about like the fact that he doesn't walk, and you definitely want to start to see that a little bit more. I think his only walk of the year was yesterday. So like you for a leadoff hitter, just as far as like on base percentage goes, like you want to see him start to take more walks. But if he's doing the kind of stuff that he did today, 3 hits, I want to say 3 hits, stolen base, stealing second, getting the walk off. Like when Nico's doing at the top of the order, he's hitting the ball very well, and if the walks come, they come, and that obviously helps. But like what he's been doing so far it's been positive for the Cubs for sure.
What did they say about Drew Smyly's start? Because the first one wasn't the greatest, but this one, sure, it was only 5 innings, but it was a solid start.
Well, I think very obviously it was a much better start than what he had the first go around. Was that Pittsburgh or Cincinnati? I want to say. Mm-hmm. So obviously a much better start than he had that first time. That knuckle curve he was dealing with it. I off the top of my head don't remember how many times he threw it, but I believe that was his most thrown pitch today. Make a quick look.
I feel like every strikeout was on
pitches.
It. Right, I felt like almost every strikeout.
3.
The last
definitely
3 were
when he struck out the side. When he struck out the side in the 5th to end his time, all 3 of them were on the curveball, and it's he said after the game, he's like, that's his best pitch. It looked like it today. Like he was going in, and he he was striking guys out, he was making them look foolish. And if that's like one of your fourth or fifth starter, like, oh, the way he pitched today, you get all thing else, for 1 through 4, good. But if he's like your fourth or fifth starter, like, and he gives you 5 really clean innings to hand off to, like Adbert Alzolay or something, and the fact that Ross pulled him was a little bit different of a story, but just the fact that Drew Smyly can give you 5 innings like that, very clean, and can hand it off to a pretty fresh bullpen is, you can't ask for much more from Drew Smyly in that sense.
No. And we were kind of talking about that at the beginning of the show is, if you get anything similar to this type of performance from your number 4, I mean, you're feeling really good. And on top of it, the Cubs have depth. So if something, an injury or something, I think they can insert someone right in there. Like we were talking about earlier with Assad, maybe they're stretching him out. Maybe if something happens, you got some guys who you're at least intrigued about. So I think Drew Smyly, he's going to be in this rotation no matter what. If he
pitches
comes
like that,
the only way I see him coming out of this rotation is if he just isn't good, obviously. So that's why it's going to be very interesting when Kyle Hendricks returns, because I don't know who they should take out to put him in. And I know a lot of people are done with or have moved on from Kyle Hendricks, but like, as much as I said at the end of last year that, I don't necessarily want him to be an automatic opening day guy. Of course, at the time we didn't know if he was going to be able to even make it to opening day or not. Even though I wasn't necessarily pro for that, doesn't mean that I wasn't, didn't respect what he's done in the past. And if he's healthy and right, then yeah, he can be good too. There's no reason to believe that he can't, get back to what we saw in parts of 2021. So it's going to be interesting whenever that happens. But again, it just goes back to they have lots of depth. So.
And every time Wesneski goes out to start, it's an opportunity to shove.
Yeah.
It's just an opportunity to show that he belongs in the rotation, not just to make the team, that he can carry it over. He had a great spring, carry it over to the season. Tomorrow will be the next chance for that. Ryan, I have a question. Nobody may have mentioned this in the clubhouse, but I'll ask it anyway. Did anybody say anything about Madrigal stealing third? Was there any talk about it, and what was actually said about it?
There? Yeah.
It was, for one, we know the Cubs have to be aggressive. They have to push the envelope. They don't have, they don't have the power to completely trust that you're going to get, a guy home from second, right? Like they have to push the envelope. Stealing base is going to be part of that. So that's number one. But Madrigal specifically, I mean, he said that the pitcher. He said, and from his vantage point, the pitcher was kind of locked in on the batter, on Barnhart, and it was one of those things where he was just going on the start, like on movement, right? Like the start of the leg lift, he was going, and he kind of noticed that the inside move was coming, but he, at that point he was committed, and props to him, I guess, in the sense that. Sometimes guys might like freeze, right? They might freeze and end up in a rundown, and we know how little that actually works. Guys end up being safe in a rundown. So I guess credit to him that he just kind of was determined and just went and just kept going. Didn't slow up at all. He was going on movement, kept going, slid in. I think the throw was a little bad, but he was able to get in there. I was thinking about it. I'm like, if we have the smaller bases from last year, if that same play happens last year, he might be out, right? Like, it's a very close play. So maybe you got a little help from those
pizza boxes.
Yeah. The third baseman wasn't ready either.
No,
the third baseman was sleeping too.
I mean, it was a surprise, and was Madrigal just kind of going off movement. And when you rewatch it, like the pitcher was, I think it was Matt Brash, didn't even see Madrigal like flying by him as he was making that inside move. Like he got all the way into second, and then before he kind of turned to throw over to third. So, it was an aggressive play and very easily could not have worked out, but it did.
Oof.
So,
yeah.
Boy, if it doesn't work out, chat and Twitter are calling for him to go to AAA. Like, he would have been destroyed if he was thrown out
because
third.
he scores on a single from second, no?
Yeah.
But that's
maybe not that single.
Yeah, that single he probably doesn't score because you have to hold up on that. He held up at third a little bit, just because it's off the bat.
The one that
stealing third led to winning the game. I don't know that it was necessarily a smart baseball play, but in hindsight it was. But if I'm first guessing it, he shocked the hell out of me. Like I was like, what is he doing? And then that's one. It felt like the Little League play where you see the kid take off. You're like, no. Yes. That's how it felt to me. Like, I don't know that it was the smart baseball play there, but if he saw something and he thought he knew he could get there, boy, it was close. If he didn't get there, that would have been the play that probably would have cost them the win.
Yeah. If we go to an alternate universe, he steals third and gets picked, and then the Cubs go on to lose, then yeah, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT for losing this game. But he didn't, and that's the way I'm choosing to look at it. It's not like
the way you're choosing to look at it is the way it happened.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened.
Right. But at the same time, I can understand why some people are, questioning it though. Just because can you sit here and confidently say it was a smart baseball play? I don't think so.
No.
So that's the only thing that leaves me up. And he's had base running criticism in the past too. So again,
well, the Sox guys,
I'm happy that it worked out, and good for him, to get some positive energy going, man. I'm the last person who's gonna sit here and dog on a dude just because this team is filled with too many damn infielders. That's not his fault.
No, it's not, and he needs to do something.
Right. He needed to do something to earn his
self-preservation. He's got to do something to stay on the team.
Was that the thing? I don't know. Should that have been the thing? I don't know. All I'm saying is that
it's all he could have done. It's all he could have done tonight.
Yeah. If someone would have taken who you got, he would have been close. He would have been a close winner, honestly.
Well, yeah, because he got there.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can. I understand the other side of it, but just also at the same time look at it as, well, it worked out. Well, if he continues to do it and it works out, then I guess we can take it as, maybe he's just good at reading a pitcher on the mound. I don't know, but it caught us all off guard.
I was going to say the jump he got on that, had that pitcher not picked off, he would have easily been to third base. Easily would have been a third. It was literally because the pitcher picked off to second that play was as close as it was.
That's fair.
He was gone on movement. If that pitcher, and it was a long leg kick. It wasn't like a sidestep to the plate. It was pretty long. So if he doesn't pick off right there, I think Madrigal's in pretty easily.
Again, I'm happy that he made the play and is trying to make an impact in any way he can on this team, because he's just going to have to be able to keep his roster spot.
All right, who you got's coming up? We have to scroll a little bit up in the comments real quick, Kevin, because there are more people agreeing with me, and I always like to point that out. Keep going. I think it was Rick said, yep, Rick DeHouse said, agreed, Luke. G. Witt, I concur, Luke. Brent Montag, exactly, Luke. Vanilla Chill, I agree with Luke. There's one more above that. Is it David Snyder? No, David Elliott. Agreed, Luke. Rhonda. Agreed, Luke. This is a heck of a show tonight. Everybody's agreeing with me. I don't have to win who you got, and I didn't because my guy went 0 for 4. But thank you for everybody that agreed with me tonight. This was a tough who you got because for a while, Drew Smyly looked like the only shot. Even though Nico had 2 hits, he kind of looked at it and said, well, if we're going with the same theory that Brendan went with on Saturday, picking Justin Steele, where he went 6, gave up a run, and we had multiple guys with 2 hits, 3 hits. We had a lot of successful who you got picks on Saturday, but Brendan chose Steele as the overall winner because of, he put them in position to win. So I was ready to 100% say Drew Smyly is the guy, even though Nico had 2 hits. But Nico had he had the game winner and his first ever walk-off. So I will say Nico wins who you got.
Can I make an argument, though?
Yeah, for sure. Because I think Smyly has an argument,
because it's a walk-off. I think the guy that gets
that's a bonus. That's a bonus, for sure.
Is
Nico have a stolen base, too?
He did have
stolen base and 3 hits and the walk-off winner. All right, Drew Smyly.
All right, I said it earlier. This was a huge game for the Cubs because they were facing the Mariners' #1 starter, and Smyly, like you said, wasn't good in the spring, wasn't good in Cincinnati, and the Cubs needed a big start coming off a loss.
And it was big for him.
Now they are in great position to win the series. And they won the game where the Mariners threw their #1. And how did they do it? Largely in part because of Drew Smyly. It is not his fault that Michael Fulmer gave up the game-tying home run in the 9th inning. That is my argument to winning Who You Got and why I think I should win, because I've been getting screwed the last 3 games.
What's the chat?
Nate
says
Nico.
Gary says Nico. G-Wit says Nico.
I'm going to get screwed
3
for
hits
the
and
4th
walk
game
off.
in a
I
row.
have to go with
I got
Nico.
screwed on Saturday.
Nico hit a walk-off single. Like, what?
Here's what.
Is that Drew Smyly's fault, Ryan? Is that Drew Smyly's fault?
Cody's
Drew
had-
Smyly was in line for the win.
Yeah, and I would have given Drew Smyly the win had Nico not converted there.
Yeah, it also took
I
guts.
said that
it also took guts to take Drew Smyly, because all y'all and everyone on Twitter was telling me that Drew Smyly sucks now. All right,
Cody
I will give Cody this. It was a much guttier pick than taking Nico Horner. There was more to it. You do get a little bonus, but the fact that it was his first career walk-off winner, and not just 3 hits, the winner and the stolen base.
Fine, whatever.
You know what Cody's doing right now? It's what I thought Saturday when I didn't win. I was like, this isn't right. Like, my guy had multiple hits, and then I had one. What was the one where I had the pitcher? And you were like, no. You're hitting it hard. Your exit velocity is up right now. That will generally pay off for you, but tonight, I think Nico wins it. It's not an easy pick, but I think Nico picks it.
I've been screwed the last 4
So
games.
that would bring us to Ryan at 4-3.
Yeah.
I am now 2-5.
I will not forget this.
Cody is at 2-5.
Never forget, never forgive.
And Corey is at 2-5. So Ryan's gone on a bit of a run here.
Yeah. And
He's vibing with the Hawaiian shirts. But Cody did have a beer after the game in a beer bat.
Yeah.
And you got to see Justin Steele in person.
I did get to see Justin Steele in person today. I'll take my wins with my losses. I am the reigning Who You Got champ. At least I have that still.
G-Wit says
regular
Cody, fine,
season
whatever.
champ.
Nate says pretty even. I would agree it is pretty even. Now, if you guys want to put out a Twitter poll and see if you can convince other people to at least give you a vote, I think just like I thought, the one on Saturday could have gone to anybody.
Or we can ask Brendan in the chat or in the Slack channel again, because that's how we decided Saturday.
What do you think he's gonna say?
I would hope he would say me.
I got to tell you,
never
Ryan, the only reason I question that is because I had Nico on Saturday who had multiple hits and a stolen base, and he said, nope, it's got to be Steele. And I was like, oh, the pitch doctor.
And I know that Brendan has an agenda against Ryan.
That is interesting. We'll let the pitch doctor weigh in, but right now I would say my opinion is Nico probably wins.
You got to give it to the guy with the walk-off. You got to give it to the guy with the walk-off.
Or
I will remember
somebody
this.
had Madrigal.
I will remember this, Ryan. I will remember this.
Kevin says Nico too.
It's fine. It can be Nico. It's fine.
I thought it was.
I'm already over it. I'm on to tomorrow. We're on to 6:40 tomorrow at beautiful historic Wrigley Field.
Yeah, the pregame show
where I will win tomorrow for Who You Got.
How
I am
about 2
determined.
points on Wisniewski tomorrow for you? How about a double?
A double or nothing.
No.
It's too early to do
too
double
early
or
to do a
nothing now.
double. It's too early.
Unless you got
But
inside information.
I'm going to be in the lab tonight. Tomorrow I'm winning Who You Got. Book it.
Really?
Yeah.
I might actually do research tomorrow. How about that? How about them
You're not
apples?
going to go with Delmetrics?
I usually go vibe. It didn't get me anywhere today.
Well, I'll be in the Delmetrics lab tonight to win Who You Got tomorrow.
12:01. I can see Ryan taking what's nasty. It might happen. All right. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook. Make sure you download the app. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up. Make sure you sign up to be a diehard so you don't miss any of Ryan's articles. You got one coming out first thing in the morning or tonight, Ryan?
First thing in the morning.
All right. We'll see you. And then pregame show tomorrow right here, 6:40, same time, and postgame afterwards. Thanks for checking us out. Until tomorrow, fly the W.